Okay, it is time to build your offer. This is going to be a pretty meaty section. So I recommend that you also definitely look through the written text. I recommend you do that every single lesson. It's going to help you, but specifically here, okay? We're gonna build your offer through 4 main steps. First, we're gonna find the average offer in your area. Secondly, we're going to go through some steps to find your price. Third, we're going to improve upon the average offer and make it into your offer. And then fourth, we're gonna maximize value. Now, you might be like, wait, didn't we just improve and maximize value here? Yeah, we're gonna do it again. We are going to use a bonus step to maximize the value in the already improved upon offer, okay? This is going to build a banger offer. This is going to bring you into business very quickly. Okay, starting with step 1, finding the average offer. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at your market research, which is what we did in the last step, that template that you filled out. And I want you to use that to build your new offer. Here's the 3 steps for that. First, I want you to take the average of all of the prices and record it. So there would be 3 to 5 companies filled out in your market research. Take all of those different prices and find the average. If you don't know how to do that, you add them all together and then divide the sum by the number of offers you added together. So let's say there were 3 different offers that you researched. Add them all together and then divide that sum by 3. If there were 5, add them all together, divide that sum by 3. If you still don't know how to, ask ChatGPT. Step number 2, I want you to take the average service offering and record it. Now this one's a little bit less mathematical. I want you to look at what all of the different businesses you researched are including in the service offering. And I want you to mentally, okay, they all include this, a couple of them included it, but really only 1 or 2. Most of them included that. Okay, find what the average company offers. And then I want you to name this average offer. And here's what it'll look like. You're going to have a template, just like you had for your market research, for this new average offer. Name. Like I said, you'll name it average offer. A little bit bad handwriting, I apologize for that. Price. Let's say that the prices that you had, you found the average, and the average was $5,497,145. Okay, there's your average price in your area. Then let's say the service includes diamonds and roses. Okay, obviously this is being funny, but the point is, name it average offer, find your average price, and then include, and there will be a lot more. You'll want to include the very specifics of what it includes. If you're a pool maintenance company, it includes algae cleaning, it includes shocking the pool, it includes all the chemical and pH balance, it includes a checkup on all the electronics and a cleaning of the filter, etc., etc. You get the idea. Figure that out. Now, this quite literally is the average offer in your area, point blank period. That's part of why it's so important that the market research was local. You now know exactly what the average offer in your area is. If someone asks you, well, what are the people around doing? That's it. That's it. It's not, oh, some do this and some, I mean, fair enough. No, this is it. That's the average offer. That's the baseline for you. You don't know a baseline because you don't have experience in what works yet, but you're able to develop a baseline almost like a superpower without building the experience first because of this. Now we're gonna use that and we're gonna move on. Okay, time for step 2 of building your offer. This one has to do with finding your price, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the average price in your area, which is what we determined in the last step. Look at that. And I want you to increase it 15 to 25% depending on experience level. We're gonna go 15 to 18% increase if you're brand new to the area. You don't have experience in this service. You're brand spanking new. 17 to 25% if you have experience in the space, you're just only now starting your own company. So if you worked for someone else, you know what you're doing, you're just starting your company for the first time, we're looking 17 to 25%. If you are brand spanking new, 15 to 18%. Now, some of y'all might be like, this guy is officially off of his rocker. I'm brand new and I'm increasing the average price. There's a reason for that. We're gonna talk about that later, but I'm not off my rocker, and there is a very good reason for this. That's what you're gonna do. Now, note, I wanna tell you this at the outset, because a lot of people when they're starting, they get so, and I mean the owners of the business, not the customers, they get so hung up on price. They have a hard time because if they're good individuals, they don't wanna nickel and dime people, but they also need a certain amount of value in order to provide the service well and be profitable. I wanna tell you, having been on the other side, having built the business, I have never had a quality customer object based on price. They have always objected based on value and ability. What I mean is, they come and they say, I have a problem. Can you solve it? Anyone who's been a quality customer, a very quality customer, they will question me, but they don't question the price. They question, are you able to solve it? Are you sure you're gonna be able to fix this? Why? Because they are in a tight spot and they're trying to say, are you sure you're gonna be able to solve my solution or just solve my problem? Are you going to be the solution, right? If I was able to assure them, yes, sir, I have experience in this area, I'm able to get it done, I will be able to get all that pet hair out, or I will be able to get that stain out or whatever. They name your price is basically what they echoed. They don't care. Why? Because I knew that I had solid prices. I wasn't charging crazy. If I had said, 5 million, pay up, okay, they'll object based on price, but we're talking about a maximum of 25% raise on the industry average in your area. We're not talking about exponential price raises. You're not going to have an issue from quality customers based on price if you're doing your job right. What they're going to want to know is, do you have the value and do you have the ability to solve my problem? As long as you can assure them of that, you will be good. Now, that isn't to say I never had people object on price. In fact, I probably had about 4 people object on price for every 1 person that I scheduled. But in my experience, when I lowered my prices or I made a way for those customers to work with me, they were never as good of experiences. The people were nickel and diming me. They had super high expectations. They had a hard time parting with their money. They had very interesting requests. All these problems that I ended up wasting time and energy trying to solve. Get okay with saying no. Get okay with walking away from people. If they're not your customer, they're not your customer. That's okay. What you'll end up with is people that are in a position where they actually need your help and they have the resources to hire you. Remember, they're hiring you. And that's how you have the good relationships you're wanting that lead to good reviews, that lead to more clients, that lead to repeat work and all the other stuff, okay? You have to be okay with no. But you also do have to provide value, and that's why we're gonna move on to improving in order to make it your offer. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to first ask yourself, what are the aspects of when I say my offer, you're going to take the average offer, pull it in, and that's the baseline for your offer. So act as if that's your offer, and then now we're going to make it better, okay? So what are the aspects of that offer, my offer, that only take 20% of the overall effort and yet deliver 80% of the total outcome? There are things in the offer, different aspects of the service, different things where it's like, that's the thing people really care about. That's the thing that really provides the value, and it really doesn't take a ton of time. And then, how can I maximize those? How can I highlight that in the service offering? How can I make that even better? How can I maximize the effect it has on the customer and how little it takes from me? Then I want you to ask yourself the inverse. What are the aspects of my offer that take 80% of the overall effort and yet only deliver 20% of the total outcome? How can I minimize those? There are things in your offer that no one gives a darn crap about. And funnily enough, a lot of times those are things that you spend so much effort on because to you it feels like you're adding value, but you know they don't really care. You just feel like it adds value because it takes so much effort from you. Okay, that's called a waste of resources. How can you minimize those? The question I want to ask you, and I want you to ask yourself is, could I make the items in the first question only take 10% of the effort and deliver 90% of the value? Or could I then, once I've made them 10%, delivering 90%, could I double the amount of them that I'm doing? So now They are taking 20%, but they're offering all sorts of value, 90 times 2, right? Those are the things I want you to think about. Think about how could I take these items and make them make the most impact with the least amount of time. That way they are fully optimized. And then ask yourself, how could I do more of that? So then you're trying to take and make more of your effort, those high value things. But first, make them very high value, make them leveraged. Hopefully that makes sense. And then you're gonna ask yourself, as far as this, you're gonna ask yourself, how can I get rid of the items in the second question? So these, fully optimize them. See if they could be only 10% of effort, 90% of outcome. And once you've fully optimized them, then try and maximize their presence in your offering. For these, see if you can get rid of them. Is there a way you can get rid of them? I'm gonna give you an example. For me, when I was doing washes, windows and tire shine were huge. So what did I do? I put windows and tire shine in every offering. I emphasized your windows will be clean, your tires will be shined. I talked about this everywhere. Why? Because that took 2 seconds. It took 2 seconds to get the windows clean. It took 2 seconds to throw on some tire shine. And people loved it. It was like a new car to them. It was something they knew. Okay, what did I do? I figured out the fastest dang ways to do tire shine possible. And then I tried to make it the best tire shine possible. Then I figured out, once it was optimized, how to make its presence in my offering as big as possible. Same with other aspects of it. Now, I'll give you an example of an item that was this, carpet shampooing. It took a lot of time to shampoo people's carpets, and it delivered less than 20% outcome, honestly, because people didn't need it. A lot of them had black carpets that weren't crazy dirty. They didn't feel like they needed carpet shampoo. They knew their carpets would get dirty again quickly because everyone's stepping on them, and they wouldn't even notice the difference because it's a dang black carpet. Terrible thing to put in here. Why? Only the people who need it. To everyone else, it's gonna seem like they're paying for a service they don't need, and it's gonna take a ton of effort from me. Okay, how can I get rid of it? I just get rid of it. It was as simple as that. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Then what I did was I made it an add-on where I was able to charge the actual right amount for that service to justify the time, to where it no longer was an item taking a ton of time providing very little value. It was an item taking a ton of time providing massive value and getting me paid a good amount, but it was only being charged for the people who needed it. Much better situation, much better situation. We've found an average offer. We've found our price based off that for what we're gonna charge on our offer. We then improved upon the average offer. Now we're gonna maximize the crap out of what value we're giving. This is going to more than justify price. Now you can understand why I'm saying my quality customers never ever had a price objection. Why? Because I'm good at adding massive value, okay? Don't charge. There was a mentor I had. He said something along the lines of, Gabe, average is the slowest way to the top. We're not trying to be average. You have to find average as a baseline. Then you increase the price, more than justify it with value. Does that make sense? Okay, so to maximize value, I want you to ask yourself, if I was to 10x the price, and I want you to actually write down on paper, because until you write it down, it might not feel real. What would 10 times your current price be? So we took the average price, and then we found our price, which was an increase on average. Now, look at what your price is. Multiply it by 10 and write it down on paper. If you had to build a package that was that price, the multiple of 10 that you just wrote down, what changes would you make to the offer to justify that price? And I want you to get a piece of paper and list them out. Well, I would probably do this. I would offer this. I would bring this. I would throw this in. I would build this system out, etc., etc., etc. Go down the list and do all of those. Now, with that list in mind, I want you to take that list and rank them to find each item on that list's score. I put score in quotes because this is a score that I built. This is a process I developed personally. The 3-step structure for scoring those items. Step number 1, I want you to write next to each item on the list on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being very high cost, 5 being no cost, the cost that it will incur to add that service. That's not just monetary. That's effort, that's time, that's attention, that's capacity, that's price, etc. All of the cost. 1 is very high cost. 5 is no cost. So the higher the number, the much more likely we are to add it. Number 2, Next to that, I want you to do another column of numbers, rating on a scale of 1 to 5, the value this item would add to your offer. In this case, 1 is absolutely no value, zip, zilch, nada. 5 is very, very high value, very likely that this would be a good addition, okay? Once you have a list of items with 2 columns of ratings, I want you to go down line by line and add together the scores from steps 1 and 2. This is going to be each item's overall score. Now, you have gone through this process, and what this has done is this has balanced cost with value delivery for us to find the best items that we can include to maximize value. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Look at the items that scored 8 to 10 only. You can get rid of everything else. The ones that scored a combined rating of 8 to 10, assess those and highlight which of those you would be able to add to your current offer without changing the price at all. What you're going to do is you're going to find that there are some items that don't take barely anything from you, that would add a bunch of value to your customers that you can add now. You don't have to 10x the price to add it. You can add it now. And it's a creative thought process that helps you to arrive at that conclusion. So now, I want you to take your offer, your price, and add to it these items. Congratulations, my friend. You have now officially built your offer. That is your offer. Circle it, highlight it, underline it, print it, whatever you need to do. That's what you're going to be marketing. That's what you're going to be offering. It is going to have a price that shows your premium. It's going to have a well-built and well-structured offering, maximized for value. Going to bring us to the big leagues. This gets me excited just talking about it. Let's move on to your basic Google My Business setup.